Hello. It's Wednesday. Hi, everybody. This is the Ravori Sports Podcast. We come to you every Wednesday all year long. We go ahead and work this out for you. The Ravori Sports Podcast. Thank you for joining us here. Numbers aren't like a big-time podcast or anything, but we had our most viewed week on all platforms. So that's awesome. Thank you to the interview that we had with Rick Arnold. We're going to have some more interviews coming up here soon. Sports media discussion. We're going to have, hasn't happened yet, so we're going to release it soon. We did already in the can with the unbiased journalist Jamie Malloy from Driving to the Top. He's going to great insights about New York and New York sports. A little hot in that ring like that. In New York sports, we're going to talk about that. A lot of great information about also to media and journalism as well. So we talk about that as well. So let's get started. July 13th, instant reaction, Masson, Orioles and Marlins. Always, so we're going to talk about that. So that's going to be next week, I think. This next week, right? So next week. So we're going to do ahead 8 o'clock. That stream is going to start. We're going to recap the Orioles and Marlins that day. We're going to do a recap really of the first half. That's the last game of the first half before the break. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Also, too, we are going to do as well MLB draft that night. We're going to stay on here until the Orioles pick. So we're going to do maybe some greater MLB stuff as well with that. Who are the best teams in the American League in general, National League, and all that, et cetera. We're going to do that all next week. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. So definitely check that out. If you're in Winchester and you do need notary services, we are going ahead and in Winchester, obviously doing more work there as well. Working on that very late last night, doing a lot of notary. That's why I wasn't even on the Driving to the Top. The name escaped me that quick, but I wasn't on Driving to the Top last night because I was doing a lot of the stuff with the notary last night. So that's why I was doing that there as well. See, Charles Harris, we are Legal Shield as well.com. So I do that every week as well. So we're definitely doing that. If you definitely need notary services in anywhere, it's not just Winchester, Baltimore, wherever it is, anywhere you are. If you need help with your business, you need help legally, definitely go to LegalShield.com. I'm telling you, you're going to save a lot of money with Legal Shield. Definitely, you guys, if you haven't tried it, absolutely go ahead and try it. VeriSports.company.site, and we do have some links to Fanatics, so definitely check that out. You'll see them on Twitter for sure. It's Twitter and Instagram is where you're going to see most of those links, and LinkedIn as well. Facebook, they kind of act, I don't always. They kind of act funny there as well. All right. Name of the stream. So let's get it popping with the fantasy football predictions for 2025. So we're talking about fantasy football tonight. So this is just for entertainment purposes only. It is not. Please do not go out and bet your mom's and your family's kung fu grip on all of the fantasy football we're going to talk about tonight. Fantasy football is fun. So we're going to focus on, as we always do, how Ravens are going to do in fantasy football as well. Some changes. Ravens in fantasy football for the longest time. Defense, kicker, some other things, some offense. Maybe you got a running back. This is a loaded, strong fantasy group for the Baltimore Ravens this year, all over the field. So if you take a lot of Ravens, you're going to have a good offense for your fantasy team as well. Interesting to see who is a better fantasy year. Obviously, at the top, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about that as well. Obviously, now we talk about it here. I know a lot of you do daily fantasy, keeper leagues, and all that other stuff. The leagues are different, so it depends on that. Some people do 10-team, 14, 16, all that other stuff. For me, for the purposes of this, just to give the fans an idea, to give you guys an idea, 10-team league, right? 10-team league and 10-team league, and we're going to give you an idea of where guys should be drafted in the league. So when you see Lamar, Derrick Henry, obviously they're early. For certain guys, maybe you want to keep an eye on some guys if they're Ravens or things like that. And I know this And people don't like to admit this. Some people like to take their team like a lot. So obviously it helps because this is your team and you're the most familiar. Obviously, a lot of you here are Raven fans or whatever. You're obviously the most familiar with your team. So you want to know where to take guys or take guys. Maybe you could steal a guy or maybe you have a thought of a guy, etc. as well in your draft. So let's see how you do here. I used to be a good fantasy player a long time ago. At the top, of course, our fearless leader, Lamar Jackson. Lamar, I think, is probably going to be QB 1 or 2 in a lot of the leagues. You're going to see Lamar Jackson and you're going to see Josh Allen taken first off the board. So I know you take running backs higher. Lamar and Josh are special because they actually run the football a lot. So you're going to get a lot of rush yards with them, obviously. It's going to be interesting. I think kind of like what I used to say for the longest time with Justin Tucker. A lot of kickers, you have the philosophy, take kickers in the last round and all of that other stuff. But if you want to take the number one guy, it's always a little bit higher because it's always maybe a round and a half higher because you want to get the guy earlier. So Lamar is going to go higher in some drafts. Then I think he's going to be in the second round. I don't know if he's going to go in the first round in many drafts. Probably round 2, round 3 if you want Lamar. In a 10-team league. Probably if you're in a 16, probably 12, 14, 16-team league. Probably in the first, second round for sure. I don't think he's going to go much later than that. I don't think Lamar goes past 30 usually in a lot of drafts. A lot of the listings is going to have him in the top 40 or 50. Most of the time, it's going to be around there where you take him. He's QB 1 to 3. Him, Josh Allen, maybe Mahomes still in some drafts might be top 1 or 2, might be ahead of Lamar. But Lamar, from what I've seen, and a lot of them is going to be QB 1. So about second round value in a 10-team league, Sarah in a 14 league. But you may have to take him earlier because I think somebody's going to try and grab him early in the draft. Derrick Henry, great value. Congratulations last year if you took Derrick Henry because certainly you could get him in the fourth round or fifth round. That is not going to happen this year, right? He's going to be a top 10, 15 player, 15 to 25, I think, overall. I think even that's generous. I think maybe his age might scare some people from being a little bit higher. I think that's probably why he's a little bit lower. Probably he's overall second, third round. Running backs are going to go early off the board in a lot of drafts. They're going to go early off the board in a lot of drafts. So you're going to have to take a Derrick Henry pretty early. So you're going to see a lot of guys there. Is he top 2, like 3, like Lamar? No. You're going to have Saquon ahead of him. You're going to have McCaffrey ahead of him. You're going to have Bijan Robinson ahead of him. You're going to have a couple other guys ahead of him. He's around 8 to 12. Why? Because he's 30 years old. That's probably the main reason why you're going to have him there. But again, in his case as well, it wouldn't shock me if he was a little bit higher. Wouldn't shock me if somebody took a Derrick Henry in the first 2 rounds, or somebody took Derrick Henry in the first round, 10-team league, 12-team league. Doesn't matter. Interesting. Lamar and Derrick Henry are going to be wild cards here. I think they're going to be higher value maybe than you're going to see on the boards, on the list, ESPN, Yahoo, DraftKings, whatever. You're going to see them a little bit higher on those boards than you would think in some places, but definitely you're going to see them or at somebody, they're going to be drafted high. Justice Hill, 13 to 15th round in the draft. I think if your draft is in July, which is too early, in my opinion, you shouldn't take Justice Hill. You absolutely shouldn't take Justice Hill. For the most part, he's going to be undrafted, 200 plus overall player. Do look at, though, with Justice Hill, what happens in training camp. If he can unseat Keaton Mitchell, if he's going to be the guy that's going to get most of the carries, it could be more interesting to him. Take him in a late 13 to 15 as well. A lot of backs are going to go early. So if you can grab a Justice Hill who's productive late or whatever, might be worth doing there as well. Didn't have Keaton Mitchell as well. I think he's undrafted either way. I think even if he takes it, as well. I don't think he's going to. I doubt very seriously he's going to be on the draft board high at all. Zay Flowers, round 3 to round 5. So you're going to see a lot of running backs and a lot of drafts early, and nowadays wide receivers early. So wide receivers are going to be early. Flowers is not a top 10 receiver, I don't think, at least listed as far as fantasy production quite yet. 3 to 5, that's about the range where you're going to see him. So you're going to see a lot of running backs, obviously. You're going to see a lot of wide receivers, obviously. 45 to 55, I think, overall, you're going to start seeing his name when you see all the names there, like Zay Flowers. He's a top 20, 25 wide receiver. That's good. He's a number 1 receiver on a very good offense as well. I think, again, he could be drafted higher. I don't think, like Lamar and Henry, team players are going to go out of their way to go out when you're in your draft to take a Zay Flowers. They'll see him there, but I don't think teams will go out of the way. I think he's going to go about right there where he should a lot of times. Should be productive. We know he's going to have 1,000 yards, I think, if healthy. Interested to see Bateman might be worth taking a chance on. They're paying him, right? I said this, you go out and buy a new car, you're going to drive it. You go out and buy a new house, you're going to live it. You're going to go ahead and buy something new. They spent $13 million on Rashard Bateman. They're not going to just not throw the ball. So how much is that now in the Ravens offense? That's very, very interesting. So he's not going to get drafted as high, about 13 to 15. I've seen him a lot in the 160, 180 area. Interesting. I think in a keeper league, he'd be good too, right? So maybe you can steal a Rashard Bateman if you have a league and you already have him, or you need to draft a guy and you have to keep for a couple of years, draft him. Interesting. I think Bateman is very, very fascinating in that sense. 55 to 70, a strong though, 55 to 70. Some drafts, he's going to go much higher, I think. Somebody's going to take a chance on Bateman, but it's going to be interesting to see his production. His production may not be above 700-800 yards as well. DeAndre Hopkins, 13 to 15 late. I think for sure he's going to get overdrafted because of his name value. I don't know if he's going to be more of a third receiver. Again, if you're drafted in August, he might have a lot of value because you want to keep an eye on that training camp, see if he has a good training camp and all that, etc. With DeAndre Hopkins, see if there's any injuries there as well for him. See if he can stay healthy. But I think he's a third receiver, worth very late, worth taking a late. I've seen him about in the same range as Bateman and a lot of the lists, but I think I'm a little less bullish on Hopkins. I think Hopkins is going to be in a third receiver role. See if they use him in the red zone. He has great hands and he's good in the red zone. I think maybe he could be worth – I think this is more of a guy you pick up during the season. Des Walker, I think, is undrafted. I think he's a guy to keep an eye on. I think keep a league only. I think with him, you look at some of these contracts here, probably next year, I think, unless there's an injury, he's not going to have a bigger role until then. Andrews and Isaiah Likely, interesting, because I think there's going to be some real jockeying for position here. I don't know if they're friends. I don't think they're going to stay friends this year. Both of these guys have a contract year. Both of these guys need big-time production to become and get paid in the offseason number 1 production. Some people are already moving Mark Andrews out the door. Isaiah Likely's never really been a starter, looking to go ahead and get his first big contract. We're going to talk tight ends tonight. That's going to be fascinating there with these guys as well. But I don't think you go wrong with either one. I'm not throwing dirt on Andrews, 25 to 35. Certainly, at least in drafts, when you start early in the year, Mark Andrews is going to be your guy. So I don't think probably at least early in the year. I think as the year goes on, we will see Isaiah Likely. Somewhat possible Isaiah Likely could win the starting job. I don't think that's I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think Likely's certainly a guy going forward. Absolutely, if you're in a league for a keeper, this is the definition of a stash guy, Isaiah Likely. Because if he's not starting for you this year, certainly whether it's Baltimore or wherever it is, he's going to be starting next year for you. So Isaiah Likely is going to get production The only reason Isaiah Likely's lower 8-9, I think, is because of Mark Andrews. You're not going to get the type of production you are getting from him there, with both of them there. So a lot of offensive firepower in this offense. Interesting to see where that goes. Justin Tucker is gone forever and ever. You took Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker, I thought, was one of one as far as a kicker goes. You take him early in the draft. Some people, like I already mentioned, take kickers in the last round. Justin Tucker, he was okay to take him earlier. Tyler Loop, I don't think you draft him. I think you see how it goes. If he is the kicker and was the kicking competition, which we all think he should, I think it'll be interesting to see that. Ravens defense is probably amongst the best in the NFL. So I think there is a chance that it's going to be higher 1 to 5 best defenses. Denver going to be right there as well. You're going to see those, the Broncos a lot there. But the Ravens defense, a lot of people consider it one of the better defenses in the NFL as well. So if you're going to take the Ravens 8-9 round, I think it's not inappropriate for that. Somebody, again, always with kickers and good kickers and good defenses, usually, because I'm saying it because there's a lot of times it's me, breaking that ice and taking that kicker high, taking that defense high. It can matter if you have that one less thing to worry about with kickers and I'm doing a live stream. All right, phone ring. So there you go. And the Ravens. So that's how the Ravens are going to look fantasy football wise in 2025. Interesting to see the tight ends and the wide receivers in terms of their fantasy production. Interesting to see how it shakes out. I think it's going to shake out well for football, Baltimore football in general, but I don't know about fantasy. It doesn't really work that way in fantasy where one guy has to take more production than the other guy. We'll see. So interesting to see how this goes, fantasy football. Again, for entertainment purposes only. Don't bet all your money at your job. Just taking a look at it. All right. Top 10 tight ends in the NFL, our top 10 series. We've been going over this the last few weeks. So we started with quarterback, wide receiver, and now we're at the tight end position. So some movement here at tight end. We definitely have a little bit of the changing of the guard here as well at tight end. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. For years, we had the same guy at the top of the list or same guys at the top of the list. A little bit of a change now. So not exactly the same guys, but we still have, I think, the number one tight end. I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. So let's take a look at the top 10 tight ends in the NFL. Yes, that's right. Isaiah Likely, the number 2 tight end of the Ravens. I have him number 10 in the entire NFL. I think, look, we've all been seeing with Isaiah Likely. I've been comparing him so much to the late, great Maryland Terp, Tennessee Titan Frank Wycheck. I think when I see him, this is the ultimate H-back, what they used to call back in the day, where he's a guy where he catches the ball out of the backfield so easy so the quarterback can catch it. So easy so the quarterback can deliver it. So he's not quite a tight end, not quite a fullback, but he's going to catch the ball. His blocking has improved a lot as well. And he also, too, I've seen, I think he always plays well without Andrews on the field. So I think that's interesting. I think he doesn't do as much because they both catch the football. They both have a similar role. But I think his blocking has improved. I think he's setting up for a big payday. I don't think his purple-colored glasses is all to put Isaiah Likely in the top 10, even though he's not the number one guy quite yet in Baltimore. Had to change the graphic, Johnny Smith, for the Pittsburgh now Steelers, right? So here's a guy, a lot of years, kind of bounced around a bit, played Tennessee, played New England, played Atlanta, played last year with the Falcons, traded to the Dolphins, had his best season last year, 880 yards. Interesting to see what this means for Pat Freiermuth. I would think he is going to be your number one guy. I would think that they bring him in. So this is a good haul. Explain the trade a little bit more real quick. So the Steelers yesterday, earlier this week, they traded away Mika Fitzpatrick, their all-pro safety, to the Pittsburgh Steelers for tight end Johnny Smith, like you see in here, and Jalen Ramsey, the corner. So Steelers got better. They gave away one of the safeties, but I think they got a good tight end. They got a good corner. Interesting to see there. And I think Johnny Smith is top 10 as well. He was really good, I thought, last year for the Dolphins. I think he's came out as well. He's going to be playing now with Aaron Rodgers, who is maybe playing in his last NFL season as well. Interesting to see how he does with Aaron, see if he can get chemistry. Tucker Kraft for the Packers. So I think this guy could only get better. I think, I love his hands, his ability to catch the football in space. I think it's very good. I'd like to see his blocking get a little better. I think he's somewhat similar, I think, to Isaiah Likely, although he's more, to me, a traditional-ish tight end in the larger sense, more than Likely is, where Likely is more of a receiver-ish. Like Tucker Kraft is more the traditional blocker there as well. But Tucker Kraft, number 7, I think definitely there's room to move for him to get higher. Kraft, I think I like him a lot. Number 8 as well. Yes, that's right. Travis Kelce is at number 7. Now, I think we're at the end with Kelce for sure. If he plays another season after this one, I'd be surprised. Kelce's production for years was always at 1,300, 1,200, 1,000 yards. 2023 was 984 last year. He had his lowest production in terms of yards since 2015 with 823. That still probably puts you in the top 10. I think with him seeing the playoffs, I think you're going to see his field production go down a bit. I think, though, he can still catch the ball in the red zone, still make tough tackles. He limps more now. He gets banged up more now. He's not as quick as he once was. I think that's true. Not washed quite yet. I still have him in top 10, but he's not the best tight end in the NFL anymore. Top 10, kind of like where LeBron James is right now. Kind of like still a Hall of Famer for sure, but not what you used to be. Travis Kelce, I have at number 7. Mark Andrews at 6. I know what happened in Buffalo, guys. Right? I understand a lot of fans are down on Andrews. I think Andrews' production was down in terms of yards per last year, but he had 11 touchdowns. I can tell you this. I don't know what's going to happen with Isaiah Likely and him. I know this. They're going to use him in the red zone for sure. And he understands Lamar better than any receiver he's ever had. He's always went to where the ball is. Lamar is going to look for Andrews and get his catches and do that. It'll be interesting to see. But he is definitely going to have his fight on his hands to keep the starting job. So I think it's good news for the Ravens. I think Andrews, is 6. I think that's a little slippage for him. But I definitely still like Andrews as well. It's good in the regular season. He hasn't been great in the playoffs, but good in the regular season as well. Number 5, T.J. Hockenson for the Vikings. Hockenson, I think, with the injury last year, really dropped his production. He was really on his path to really ascending. 2023, he was really good, almost 1,000 yards. Last year, injury as well. Other concern I have with Hockenson is the lack of quarterback. I don't have much faith at all in J.J. McCarthy. So they're interesting to see. But what makes a good quarterback is a good tight end. I don't think there's anything wrong with Hockenson. He's a complete tight end. He just got to stay healthy. You could say that about this next few guys on this list, but Hockenson, I think a healthy Hockenson, lack of quarterback, that's the only thing. But he's outstanding. I think he's a complete tight end. Number 5, T.J. Hockenson. Sam Laporta. It's almost tempting to say I was expecting more from Sam Laporta last year. Numbers kind of dropped. I think he missed a few games. I think that's the only thing. So I'm kind of still where I was. I'm going to put him number 4, certainly in that offense. Jared Goff is going to look for him as well. I'm not too down on him. Just got to stay healthy for a whole season. But Sam Laporta runs over people. Again, now we're in area complete tight end. He can block very well. He can pass, block, run, block, catch the football in space, catch the football in one area. Good hands, excellent hands, Sam Laporta. I like him. So Laporta, I think, is the real deal as well. Production dropped a little bit last year. So I think you got to factor that in a little bit why he's not higher. I don't know. And there's a lot of, like the Ravens, there's almost competition on that offense as well. So it's not like they're just for sure going to feature him as well as much where he's going to get 1,000 yards because there's more guys trying to eat. This guy is going to eat more. George Kittle for the tight end for the 49ers just got his extension with them. George Kittle is so much fun to watch. Old school, all the way, runs over people, physical. It's just he's cool to watch even a game where he doesn't catch a pass. He's so cool to watch George Kittle because for sure he's going to knock somebody down. He's going to hit somebody in the run game. He's going to do a lot of things, but he is an outstanding catcher. He gets his yards in chunks. I don't know if anybody notices. He's not always drib and drab in volume like a Likely, but man, he gets chunks. He gets these big plays. He's capable of the big play. So it's definitely a lot to like about Kittle. Complete tight end, just got to stay healthy. It seems like he misses games every day, but that's why he's not one, I think. But Kittle, I think, is the real deal. Definitely a big-time player. Here's a guy who's jumped up a lot. Trey McBride of the Arizona Cardinals. I think Trey McBride, has become, you could argue right now he's the best receiving tight end in the league, best pure receiving tight end. He's gotten better and better every year. This guy, one of the reasons why I have him here is he's going to eat with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's going to look for him over 1,000 yards. Good stuff. This guy's going to get better. I think he's going to be their focal point. Trey McBride, I think, is outstanding pass catcher, outstanding. Not a great blocker. I think he gets more credit than he should. I think more of a catcher, blocker type as well. But I think Trey McBride, over like almost 1,200 yards last year. Definitely give him credit because McBride, I think, is outstanding as well. I think he deserves to be considered as the number 2 in the NFL. But number 1 is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was terrific for the Raiders last year. I think my dad would be proud. It's my dad's favorite team to see Brock Bowers as well. He's a difference maker from minute one. Some guys, like you look at guys, and some guys, they step right in. Some guys take time to develop or build or whatever in life. Some guys, they're naturals. They go right in. Brock Bowers, you can see it right away. No question about it. He's the best tight end there. I think he's the best tight end. I think he had almost 1,200 yards receiving last year. I think that's just the beginning. I think this is the guy that's going to be like Travis Kelce going forward year after year after year after year, 1,200 yards receiving. Brock Bowers, number 1 for the Vegas. Used to be Oakland Raiders. There you go. All right. So, and there it is right there. The top 10 tight ends in the NFL. See if you disagree. No longer Kelce at the top. So good for him. Legacy. I think we're at the end of the season as well. Bowers, I think, best tight end in the NFL. Ravens got 2 good tight ends, guys. No reason to argue about it. 2 good tight ends that the Ravens have. Outstanding stuff there with the Ravens. Real quick, it was on while I was on last week, so I didn't go over the NBA draft. Kind of on purpose because they trade so much that you kind of gotta let it marinate a bit, see who shakes out where, who does what after a week. So interesting NBA free agents. He's been going crazy as well. Lakers today signed DeAndre Ayton. Finally got a big as well. Good stuff for the Lakers. I was very excited about the Ayton, I think. I don't think you need nobody's going to confuse them with Shaquille O'Neal or anything like that. But Ayton, I think, they needed a big. That was sorely needed in the offseason as well. All right, draft last week. Real quick, Cooper Flag, no question about it. Mavs, I understand fans are saying it's wired, but getting Flag at least lucky because now everybody can go ahead and forget about Luka Doncic. I mean, what a break that was. Getting the guy I think is the best white American player since Larry Bird, Cooper Flag, for the from the Dukies as well. Dylan Harper, son of Ron Harper, I thought it was a little higher than I thought he was. The Spurs really liked him. The Spurs really liked him. I think they feel he fits what they do. I think that's the reason why him and not Ace Bailey in that spot. So that's interesting. VJ Edgecombe, you saw how good he was if you watched the NCAA tournament. So 76ers need a good pick. They need to go ahead and get a guy. They're maybe going through the process again in Philly. Interesting in there. Con Couple, I think best outside pure shooter in the draft. Best pure jump shooter. No surprise he's from Duke. John Shire, and then got 2 top 4 players. Ace Bailey from Rutgers. So those 2 Rutgers freshmen that came in, they didn't win as many games. Bailey was a little shorter than what he was listed. They were kind of listing him as like 6'10", 6'11", and then he turns out to be 6'7". That matters. Like, when you're at the next level. So I think that's for sure what happened to him there as well. Trey Johnson from the University of Texas. So Trey Johnson had an outstanding tournament there as well. So interesting to see that. Jeremiah Fears from Oklahoma. Oklahoma players kicked out Trey Young. I thought Trey Young was outstanding. Fears, I think, is a similar type of player. Offense. One of these point shooting guard types / they're going to score a lot of points. Ego Maman from BYU, also to the draft. Colin Murray Bowles from South Carolina as well. Also draft Kaman Malu. Got it right. From the Houston Rockets. Rockets also to going ahead and becoming involved there. I don't like the Rockets much. I don't know why they as well. Also to mentioning, not in the top 10, Derek Queen goes ahead and signs, got drafted by the Pelicans as well. So some were saying this was a bad trade, but the Pelicans, they didn't watch Derek Queen play last year at Maryland. We did. I can tell you, they are not making a mistake. That's a steal to get Derek Queen at that spot. You Pelican fans, if you're watching this, man, you guys love having Derek Queen on your team for sure as well. And one other thing I did want to mention on NBA, I mentioned Ayton and free agency. I did want to mention this here. I'm going to make fun of the Knicks for a second. Hiring Mike Brown as the head coach. I don't know what to say to y'all. I don't know what to say to y'all. One, here's the thing. To be completely fair, Mike Brown did get screwed, I think, in Sacramento. That was his last job. So that's fair. This guy's not a great coach, guys. We've seen it for years. I don't know why he keeps getting these jobs and jobs and jobs. So, again, Tom Thibodeau, you don't need that. He takes you 51 games. You sabotage him. He still wins anyway. He pushes the team anyway. And now you're going to fix it by hiring Mike Brown, a guy who's been mediocre wherever he's been. Respectfully. It's hard to coach in the NBA. I understand that. I'm not, but I just, the Knicks just don't let you down. The Knicks just don't let you down. It makes no sense. I was almost pulling for Don Staley to get the job too. I think that's something that's interesting. Real quick, hiring a woman to be a men's coach, I think it's long overdue. I think Don Staley, I always said Pat Summitt should have been hired as a men's coach, at least considered, or Gio Amariyama. I hear all these weird excuses why you can't hire one of these women to coach the team. Don Staley is a gold medal winner. She's won an NCAA title. She's going to have the respect of every single player in an NBA locker room. So I kind of not getting why you don't hire Don Staley, but Okay. You'd rather hire Mike Brown, a guy who hasn't done always particularly well. Let's recap June for the Baltimore Orioles. So we do this at the end and the beginning, or the beginning of every month. So we just had June, second day of July. Let's talk about the June for the Orioles. So we're going to do our Orioles report, our standard Orioles report. So much has went on, man. It's ridiculous, all these injuries. And I think that's true in June, too. I think you had a lot of injuries. The team did play better, I think. The record, they're still in fifth place, which is not good. But I think at least you can see some positioning for a wild card. The injuries have been unbelievable. But this was your record, 37-47, won your last 5 out of 10, fifth place in the AL East. Let's take a look. Jackson Holiday, I think, is the reason to watch the Orioles. I think if you are watching Masson, whatever, I'm going to go ahead and finish the game here, Orioles tonight, once I get off. And Jackson Holiday is the reason to watch. I think he's growing right before us. We will see if he can come in as an all-star reserve. Jackson Holiday, good defensively. I think he's gotten better at second base. Struggling, average at the plate a little bit. I think some guys get a little bit of a – he's still young, and here we are on the dog days now. We're getting to where it's hot every night. But Jackson Holiday has been fantastic. I might have the same graphic every time with Urias typical. Ramon Urias contributing. I think we know where we're getting from him. He's going to give us some offense, some pitching, and some days he's not going to be so good. So I think he's an average MLB major leaguer. That's why they've kept him around. Good utility knife to keep in the drawer. With the injury, especially to Westberg, who's been on the shelf a couple of times this year. Gunnar Henderson is average solid. Not enough RBI production. Hit a big home run the other night. Got to see more thunder from Gunnar. They cannot win games without Gunnar being Gunnar Henderson. I keep saying that. Most valuable Oriole after 3 months is Gunnar Henderson, is on Ryan O'Hearn. Congratulations to Ryan, who is now the DH in the All-Star game. Good for you, Ryan. Ryan's average has been terrific. He's been it would have been far worse what we've seen without Ryan O'Hearn. Ramon Laureano, I think, has been a pleasant surprise. I think it's been really good. I think his production, his power has been really good. I think he's been good in the field. I think they got it right. I think Laureano, has probably been, you could argue he's been the third best player on the team this year. So good for him. Plays with a lot of passion, absolutely as well. Colton Cowser, I think, is on his way back. Again, a guy with an injury, but he's getting there. You can see it. He's getting consistent. Hit a couple home runs. I think he's getting there. Mountcastle's going to be out for a while. They've been starting Kobe Mail. He's still developing, starting to come around. We'll see. I don't know how much longer we're going to have Cedric Mullins. I think he's going to be traded soon. Bat has been inconsistent, still outstanding defensively, still giving you some production with his speed, stolen bases. And Gary Sanchez has been giving you some production now that he's back with Adley Rutschman out. Look at the injuries. I'm sure I missed a few. Jerison Rodriguez, Jorge Mateo, Tyler Wells is still out. I don't know what's going on with Grayson, by the way. I haven't heard anything. Tyler O'Neill is in rehab, so he should be here soon. Kyle Bradish, 60-day. Suarez, 60-day. They're on their way back. I think you may see them in August. We'll see. Adley probably after the break. Maverick Hanley, I think it could be any day now after the concussion. Kyle Povich, he's going to be probably pitching in AAA. Mountie, probably at best August, September. Rivera has been up and down. He got DFA'd again. They've been doing that a lot. Chadwick Tom on the roster got hurt again as well. I think got replaced with stuff. Again, it changes. They've had so many injuries. Westy, I think, is here but hasn't played. Luis Vazquez played in the extra innings the other night. Zach Eflin is on the IL. Eflin's been good. I think Eflin struggled. I think he went out of the game as well. See if after the break, they can get him right. I think he hasn't been that good. I think he's been better than what we've seen. Yeah. Dean Kramer, I think, has been their best pitcher. I think all of June, I think, in the second half. I think he's really been rolling. So shout out to Dean Kramer, looking good in this last stretch. Sagano, I think the numbers are still decent. He struggled early in games. He's given up way too much early in games. Charlie Morton's been better. The fact that he's still here is almost the horrific start he's on. And Trevor Rogers has been fantastic since he's been here. I mean, I got to tell you, great start in Boston. Not so his other start. In the last start, I thought he was terrific. I think Rogers, probably stays in the rotation the rest of the year. It looks a little light on bullpen because we've had so many injuries. I cannot. You've had Cano up and down. Bowman I can't. This is pretty much what it's been for most nights as well. Felix Batista, 16 saves, 273. Not as good as he was before the injury, but still really good. Batista's been good. Brian Baker's having his best season, 272, 2 saves. Dominguez is starting to turn it around along with Greg Soto as well, both of those guys. So that was depending on those guys. They very, very quietly looking at it have been better the last month. Kitchers has struggled a little bit lately. And again, injury. Keegan Hicken, I think, went on the DL yesterday again. So a lot of injuries to the bullpen as well. So that's the story of the month. 5th place, not over yet, but the injuries is just ridiculous. I mean, they've had more players on the IL as well than I think I can ever remember. I will say, too, with all the injuries that they've had, Sam Basayo is still in AAA. I know a lot of you guys want to see him, but they're determined not to. This organization does not rush the prospects. And I really think before they want him to go ahead out there, they want him to play. That also tells me as well that Adley's not going to be out forever. If Adley's going to be out as long as I think Mounty's going to be out or out for a while, then I do think they would entertain it. But they've brought up now 3 catches from AAA. None of them the number 1 prospect, the number 13 prospect in all baseball, Sam Basayo. So interesting to see how that goes as well. So let's go talk more baseball here. I'm going to move this to where I can find it. I'm just going to put it.
Put me in cold. I'm ready to play the game. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play the game. Oh, put me in.
Got to move it to where I can find it. Put me in, coach. And so as we talk baseball here, baseball summer, we're in the heart of summer at 4th of July here. A lot of you guys are going to be celebrating this weekend as well. I'm going to go to a baseball game locally with fireworks and all that other stuff. And so we're going to continue with our baseball summer series and definitely going to check that out here as well. So now the draft is coming. So I've been taking a look at a lot of these young players, YouTube video, a lot of these young players, scouting, reading a lot, and giving you an idea of what we're going to see in the draft. We're going to have our draft stream on July 13th, so check that out. So baseball summer, what's going to see in the draft? And I think one of the things, in as far as the draft goes, a great way to look at the draft, and I know baseball does have a combine, but I really look at the College World Series as kind of a form of that. When you have the College World Series, you see these guys in that environment there where you wouldn't see them, right? So in minor leagues, they prepare guys to play in the majors. College World Series, they win, and they're playing against the best college players around, and they go ahead and they are trying to go out there and win. So it's interesting to see these guys in this environment. So let's talk about the best players in the College World Series this year as well. So we're going to talk about that, obviously, but I want to go over 5 names, college players that weren't in the College World Series. Maybe they got eliminated in super regionals, but they're absolutely worth talking about. These are my top 5 guys who weren't in the College World Series, who were college players, not high school players. We'll do that next week. We'll do over the high school players. We'll talk about Ethan Holiday and such and those guys there. But this week, number one, I know a lot of people like Liam Dole. I really like Jamie Arnold. I think Jamie Arnold is got a lot of polish. Obviously, he throws the ball very hard, very good for Florida State. Really tough not to like Jamie Arnold. So that's why I have number one. Liam Doyle is a flamethrower, man. He's like everything at the radar gun is 100. So, like, if you see Paul schemes and everything now, I think there's a lot of things with Liam Doyle. Good pitching. I think his pitching is solid, but the heat is just unbelievable. Like, he's got to intimidate people with his throwing arm and his everything. So I think that's a thing as well. 10-3, 2.8 ERA, 158 strikeouts for Liam Doyle. Fantastic stuff. Kyron Witherspoon. Now the third round. These are maybe in Orioles territory. Orioles picking 19th. Kyron Witherspoon from Oklahoma, 8-3, 370 ERA, 90 strikeouts. Pitches well, mixes his pitches as well. Throws hard, but needs to mix his pitches as well. That's why I don't think he's going to get taken as high. You almost always see flamethrowers taken high. Not that he doesn't have good stuff, he does. But, I mean, nowadays you can almost say, it's weird to say like 94, 95. Well, that's not. But it's about right for him. That's where he's at. Merrick Houston, I've seen him mock to the Orioles a couple times. Very good tool. If you like the tools, he's definitely a guy that they're going to look at. So definitely 10 home runs, 65 RBIs. Wake Forest has had some good players in recent years. It is definitely a guy I've seen mock to the Orioles. Jace Lavalette, probably a number one pick if you had to draft last year as well. Kind of very similar profile draft-wise to Vance Honeycutt. A lot of swing and miss issues. So that's why he wasn't as high as well. But interesting to see that with Jace Lavalette as well. So let's take a look at the College World Series. These guys. Number 10, Zach Root of Arkansas. A lot of pitchers. So last year, I think I had like one pitcher. Now you got a whole bunch in the College World Series. Zach Root from Arkansas. Arkansas had several really good pitchers as well in this one. So Zach Root makes the list. 6-2, 3.7 ERA, 76 strikeouts as well. Anthony Iverson pitched in the College World Series. The best number 2 pitcher you ever saw as well. Outstanding stuff. 11-2, 142 strikeouts. Definitely outstanding. Some control things he needs to work on. I don't think he's right away ready. I think he definitely needs to work some things out in Double-A before you actually put him in the major. Charles Devlin, I think, was fantastic as well. 14 home runs, 59 RBIs. Clearly the best player on the Arkansas team, I think, this year is from the offensive standpoint. I love the fact that he hits well for power, hits to all fields. You can definitely see that when you see him. Patrick Forms, I see a lot of – he's like a right-handed Liam Dole. Really just throws with violence. He concerns me the way he throws with that violent way he throws. Hard, though. Definitely tough to hit. 117 strikeouts. But it's – I don't know. I don't know as far as that goes, if he could sustain that forever. But, man, he really, really throws hard. Caden Bodine, I thought, was the reason Coastal Carolina actually made it to the final game. Best catcher in the draft. Best catcher in the draft. That is worth something as well. He does everything except hit for power. That's it. He's not going to hit you a lot of home runs, but I think he's going to do everything else really, really well. Gage Wood had the no-no in the College World Series against Murray State. He was fantastic. Now, you see that ERA is a little bit higher during the season, not as quite as consistent, but the talent is there. I think probably because of that, he's going to get drafted a little higher than maybe he, should, but show some patience with him. Definitely all the talent here. Brendan Summerhill from Arizona as well. He's going to lead off for somebody. I think like years ago, when they valued more leadoff man, this would be a guy that you really like. Definitely hits 354. Going to steal a lot of bases for you. Excellent defensively as well. A leadoff man. Wima Aloy from Arizona, from Arkansas. This now is that group of really good shortstops that they have. College, high school, and college. Aloy. So definitely this was the best player in all college baseball last year. 28 home runs, 95 RBIs, 360, just outstanding offensively as well. Right there, definitely great as far as he's going to hit a lot of home runs. Sometimes, like the moving a bat, you kind of take some guys' power. Malloy, you're not worried about that. And, Arquette, Arizona State, some people think he's the best offensive player in the entire draft. All the tools and everything are there for Arizona State as well. Throw him in with like 5 or 6 names who are the best shortstop in this draft. Absolutely. Malloy, Arquette, Ethan Holiday, etc. They're all right there. But the Nats, you can't pass on Cade Anderson. Oh, baby. This guy was sensational in the College World Series. I haven't been as impressed with anything as a sporting event in all of 2025. This guy is the number 1 pick, should be in the draft. There you go. So, those are the picks. Those are the players in the College World Series. We definitely want to check that out. Definitely, if you haven't done it, definitely check out the College World Series. Absolutely do that. It is an outstanding sporting event where you see great players before they go to the next level. You see guys like that pitch well, Ben McDonald, Adley Rushman, all that. There you go. So there's the charge. Let's get to the Orioles report. And God forgive me, I think I missed all the injuries. I mean, this is just crazy. All the injuries as well. K. Povich sent to Norfolk on rehab assignment. So he's out with the injury. He's going ahead and he's still nerfing as well. This changed during the week. So they optioned Brandon Norfolk to Cade Stroud. They optioned Brandon Norfolk. I keep saying Norfolk. Brandon Young to Norfolk and sent Cade Stroud from Norfolk. That didn't last long, okay? So this happened. Selected the contract of Emmanuel Rivera from Norfolk and optioned Dylan Carlson to Norfolk. Did Dylan Carlson for assignment. Kyle, easy for me to say. Kyle Tyler for assignment. That's why I kept messing it up. So I want to mention this real quick. I think the strategy is just to bring up a warm body right now. Just bring up anything. Just eyes up, down, 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 up, down. Bowman has been up so many times. I don't even think I even have Matt Doman today's information designated for assignment. But my goodness, because I might have ran out of time. I didn't do that. Orioles went 22-8 over the Rays on Friday. So it was the third time that they scored at least 22 runs, 9 doubles, tied for the franchise record. 21 hits said were the most since June 6, 2021. So that was huge. Orioles scoring 22 runs. It's always like when you have a game like that, well, you need to save it for tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. But they are on the right track. You finally saw some guys break out offensively, scoring so many runs against a good pitcher, especially Ryan Park for the Tampa Bay Rays. So that was good as well. It was the first time that they won trailing by at least 6 runs since May 27, 2024. Their first time at home since July 31st, 2015 as well. So interesting there as well. Scheduled contract from Matt Bowman, option Cade Stroud from Norfolk. Robert Castillo reinstated the 7-league minor league, designated him for assignment. They're just bringing up warm guys. They're not even whatever they can do. They're just bringing up warm guys as well. It's a mess. Who's hot? I think I had the same. Gary Sanchez, Ryan O'Hearn, Trevor Rogers. I thought we mentioned them. They were outstanding as well. Who's not? Zach. Let me see. I'm gonna leave that off. I'm gonna just say this. It's so crazy with all of the injuries that we've had. Like, it's even hard to even put a graphic together. Like, and I'm not saying that, self-aggrandizing, feel sorry for me, but Matt Bowman's again back down. Again, Zach Eflin's on the shelf again as well. They brought up somebody, and then they brought him down. And then Stallings, they got hurt. Tragic Tom, he's up, and now he's back down. The injuries are just it's just unbelievable. So I've never seen this man. I mean, it's just every day I'm updating injuries. Every day, if you look on the Ravori Sports Twitter page or Facebook page and all that, every day, injuries. Okay, it's unbelievable as well. Let's go player of the week. Let's just make it honorary for the All-Star Ryan Hearn, who made his first All-Star team. We will see if Jackson Holiday is going to join him. I think that would be the one. Jackson Holiday has a shot at it. I think Felix Bautista absolutely has a shot at it. I don't know, but I think those would be the other two. I think if they were to become All-Stars, that are interesting there as well. This week, real quick, forgot that. Atlanta Braves are going to play this week. So definitely the Orioles are going to play in Atlanta. So I don't think there are 10 cooler cities in the United States than in Atlanta, Georgia. So they're going to start tomorrow. Friday, rather. Yes, the Atlanta Braves, I think they are off tomorrow as well. And the New York Mets, I think probably one of my favorite cities in the entire world. And you're going to get a chance to see Juan Soto and I think the $100 million team up close with the New York Mets. All right. Thank you, guys, and thank you very much for joining us here with the Ravori Sports Podcast. You enjoy the rest of your day.